Hey guys, so the last time we talked, we were talking about book covers and how to select and do your book cover. And the last video, we talked about DIY or do-it-yourself book covers, and then getting some pre-made book covers. And just to reiterate what I said last time, if you have the capability of creating a book cover for yourself, which I know a lot of people do through Adobe Acrobat, there's other, Adobe Acrobat, Photoshop, and then there's some other programs out there that are pretty effective. That's awesome. Pre-made covers can be great, and there's a lot of people out there. In fact, what I'm going to talk about today, there's a lot of graphic designers that also have some pre-made covers, and that can be a very cost-effective route to go. However, I think if you're willing to spend a little extra money, in my opinion, probably the best route for most authors to go when it comes to creating, choosing, selecting their book cover is find a graphic designer who has experience with book covers, who's done this for a while. They've got a portfolio that they can show you. And, in all honesty, typically speaking, the cost is not going to be that much more than buying a pre-made book cover. You can find pre-made book covers for as low as $49. I've seen them up around $199. Generally speaking, it's kind of, you get what you pay for. So the ones that are $199 are going to be a little better, a little more complex, but definitely budget type book cover. When you reach out to a graphic designer, someone who actually creates a book cover from scratch, now it's important to understand that these, they're artists, but they're not doing original drawings. They're not doing original paintings. They're taking imagery, they're mashing it up, repositioning characters, repositioning stock photos and stock pictures, and creating in most cases, creating a really nice, well-organized, cohesive cover. Okay, so there's a lot more options there in terms of creating something that you envision. You get someone who has a little more creativity. You tell them what you're looking for. They go to work with their artist's brain and oftentimes give you some options. Here's what they're thinking. So it's a really cool creative process. Now, obviously, it's going to take a little more time, okay? So when you reach out to a graphic designer, and I'm going to give you some examples of some pretty good graphic designers that I've used and I know other people have used. You've got to give it some time. It takes them time to search for the images. It takes them time to put everything together. So, I would give yourself a good month of lead time, at least 2 weeks, but I would say a month, to reach out, wait for them to respond, give them your ideas, let them send their ideas back to you. And oftentimes what these kind of guys do is they'll go through and they'll give you, say 2 or 3 rounds of edits with their base cost, okay? Cost-wise, with a person who's putting together a book, a graphic designer is putting together a book cover, low end, you can expect maybe low 200s to mid 200s, high end. There's some really high quality graphic designers out there that might charge $700-800 for a book cover. So it's a fairly wide range. I know that the graphic design book covers that I've done, and I'll show you some examples, were, right around $300-350. And so they were well within my budget at the time. And they were great covers. Like I said, I'll show you my book covers. Most people really, really like them. Some of my books have transitioned on to original artwork, and I'll explain why in the next video. But so that's basically a graphic designer. And like I said, I'll give you some examples of a couple websites that you can see. So this first website that you can see up here, this is Hampton with TS95 Studios. Obviously, I'm showing him first as I peruse through his website. Because he did my books and he does an amazing job. I found him through Fiverr, I believe, and so there, you can get referrals from other people. Fiverr is always a great resource. Hampton does great work, okay, as you can see, and you can I'll link his website below. You can go through his website and see some of the book covers that he's done, including mine. Just does really, really good work. So, you know, he's a great resource. And like I said, I paid $350 per book cover. You know, that included 3 rounds of edits. There was one book where we just were having a hard time kind of getting our imaginations to match up, and he gave me an extra round of edits because, you know, we're just having a hard time. So he's a really, really good guy. He's really good what he does. The next one up here that you see is Campbell Designs. Highly, highly recommended, especially for fantasy, sci-fi, horror. Campbell has been around for a long, long time, does great work, as you can see now. Campbell is also going to be more expensive, and he's booked out right now like 3 or 4 months. Okay, so obviously in high demand. You got to plan ahead. You got to be willing to spend a little bit more money. But again, as I peruse through the website, and you can go to his website too and take a look at his portfolio, you'll see he's got great, great work and great stuff. You know, and again, people judge a book by its cover. You know, you want that eye-catching, you know, what's going to make people stop scrolling, what's going to make people stop in the bookstore and look at your book. And oftentimes, you know, it is the book cover. You know, until you become a gigantic name and people don't care what your book cover looks like, that's what's going to get people attracted to your book. Okay. And this last website is a lady named Sue Campbell. I know a couple people who have used her. We're really, really happy with her. A little more budget friendly. And one of the things that you'll find with Campbell Designs and Hampton also is they do have some stock pre-made book covers that you can use. Now, the advantage to using a graphic designer who has some pre-made book covers versus just getting a pre-made book cover off of a website is they will make some adjustments, and they will you know, do some edits within limitations, do some edits to that pre-made book cover since you're buying it. And normally that is at the asked price, right? Because they've already created it. You know, and they have themes, so whatever, you don't want dragons, you want a burning building, you want the ocean, you know, they normally have themes for these pre-made book covers. So I think for the vast majority of people, using a graphic designer is a great way to go. You know, give yourself a couple $100, maybe $300 that you are willing to spend on a really, really good book cover. There's no reason to spend anything over $700. I mean, even that range for a graphic design book cover is a little pricey for me. Most of us are on a fairly tight budget, and so you need to find something that's going to catch people's eye, but at the same time not break the bank, because it's going to take a little while to make back that money that you spent on a book cover. Okay, so again, graphic design, I think for the vast majority of people, this is a great way to go. This is probably the right route to go. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email or comment, and I'll respond right away. And as always, make sure that you click the subscribe button down there, check the bell so you get notifications when new videos come out. And until next time, happy writing and happy reading.